For 50 years, humans had been the laughing stock of the galaxy. The tall, blue-skinned Azurites called them monkeys behind their backs. The six-armed Crawl wouldn't let humans touch their precious ship engines, even the slug-like Mu, barely. Able to move without mechanical assistance, looked down on the humans. That's how things worked in the Galactic Commonwealth. Humans were good enough to clean toilets, serve drinks, and maybe handle simple cargo if someone was feeling generous. Captain Jumi Lee sat at her small desk in the corner of the Commonwealth Embassy, ignored by the alien diplomats buzzing around the main hall. Her uniform was plain, her office barely bigger than a closet. Just how humans were expected to present themselves, humble, grateful for the chance to exist in the great galactic community. "Would you like me to fetch refreshments for the Azurite?" "A delegation, Ambassador," she asked, bowing slightly to the towering alien. Yes, the blue mineral water. Not the cheap kind you brought last time," the Azurite waved dismissively without looking at her. Jumi nodded politely and walked away. The aliens never noticed her sharp eyes catching details of their security systems, or how her seemingly simple wristband was mapping the entire facility. 3 days later, the news hit every channel across Commonwealth space. The aggressive, hegemonic Dominion, led by the ambitious Commander Kang, had launched surprise attacks on several outer worlds, including 2 human colonies. The Commonwealth High Council called an emergency meeting. Jumi stood quietly in the back as representatives from 30 alien species argued loudly. "The hegemony must be stopped," shouted the Azurite representative. "We must protect our trade routes," insisted the merchant Crawl. Finally, the council president spoke about the human colonies. "We extend our sincere condolences for the regrettable losses on New Terra and Phoenix colony. Unfortunately, these distant settlements fall outside our primary defense perimeter." That was it. Thousands of human lives written off in a single sentence. No one objected. No one even looked at Jumi. She left the council chamber with her head down, exactly how they expected a human to respond, accepting their place in the hierarchy. Back in her tiny office, she locked the door and activated the signal jammer hidden in her desk plant. Her wristband vibrated. She tapped it twice, and a holographic message appeared. Not the simple text communications humans supposedly used, but a complex 3D projection showing Earth Command's highest security clearance. "Protocol Sleeping Giant is now active. Return to coordinates immediately. Authentication Thunderstorm 7 Echo 9. Jumi's heart pounded as she stared at the glowing message. For 20 years she had played this role, the simple human assistant, the grateful diplomat, the technological primitive. She had endured countless insults, been passed over for promotions, watched alien species claim credit for human innovations. All part of the plan. She remembered her first day at the academy back on Earth. "Our strategy is patience," Admiral Park had told her class. "We show them what they expect to see. Let them think us weak while we build our strength. History has taught us what happens when technologically superior forces encounter the unprepared." As she packed her few belongings, memories flooded back. The Azurite who spilled his drink on her accidentally during her first week. The time the Kral Embassy requested human servers because they worked for less. The Mu scientist who published research stolen from human archives, knowing no one would believe a human claiming credit. All those years of carefully controlled responses. Never showing anger, never revealing the truth, that Earth had developed. Faster than light technology a decade before joining the Commonwealth, but kept it hidden. That human quantum computers were 3 generations beyond what they shared with alien allies. That the seemingly primitive human defenses on colony worlds were merely decoys. Jumi slipped out of the embassy during shift change. No one would miss the human assistant until tomorrow. By then, she would be aboard the stealth cruiser, hiding on the dark side of the moon. As her shuttle approached the rendezvous point, her wristband displayed another message. "New Horizon. Colony under direct attack. Hegemonic forces expect minimal resistance." A grim smile crossed her face. Commander Kang and his hegemonic forces were about to learn a painful lesson. So was the Commonwealth. Humanity had grown tired of being the galaxy's punching bag. The massive outline of the stealth cruiser, Silent Thunder, appeared before her shuttle, its advanced cloaking technology making it almost invisible until the final approach. As she docked, Jumi shared her simple diplomatic uniform for the first time in years. "Welcome aboard, Captain Lee," said her first officer as she stepped onto the bridge in her real uniform, the black and silver of Earth's hidden space force. "Status report," she ordered, settling into the command chair. "All ships reporting ready, Captain. The hidden Armada awaits your command." Jumi nodded, looking at the tactical display showing hundreds of ships emerging from their secret bases throughout human territory. "The sleeping giant wakes," she said quietly. "Set course for New Horizon. It's time to show the galaxy who we really are." Commander Dae Sung of the hegemonic Dominion smiled as his invasion fleet dropped out of hyperspace near New Horizon colony. The blue-green world looked peaceful and vulnerable against the black of space. His bridge officers, with their distinctive crimson skin and ridge-lined faces, worked efficiently at their stations. "Inform the troops that this will be a simple operation," Dae Sung told his second-in-command. "The humans have minimal defenses, just a few orbital platforms with outdated weapons. Their colony has fewer than 50,000 people, most of them farmers and miners." His tactical officer nodded. "Intelligence reports confirm, sir. Humans rely on Commonwealth protection, which doesn't extend to this sector. Their ships are slow and poorly armed." "Send in the scout vessels," Dae Sung ordered. "Standard formation will follow with the main fleet once they've confirmed landing zones." 6 sleek scout ships accelerated toward New Horizon, their sensors probing the seemingly defenseless colony. The bridge crew watched the tactical display as the scouts approached the planet's orbit. Then something unexpected happened. "Sir, we've lost contact with Scout 3, reported the communications officer. "Probably just interference from the planet's magnetic field," Dae Sung said dismissively. "Scout 1 and 4 also not responding," the officer added seconds later, confusion in his voice. Before Dae Sung could respond, all 6 scout indicators on the display winked out simultaneously. "What's happening?" he demanded, rising from his command chair. "Unknown, sir. No distress signals, no debris detected. They're just gone." Meanwhile, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean on Earth, Admiral Tae-Woo Park stood in the center of a massive control room carved into the ocean floor. For decades, Earth had maintained the fiction that its military capabilities were limited to a few outdated ships and defensive platforms. The truth was very different. "Status report," Park demanded, watching as hundreds of officers worked at advanced holographic stations. "New Horizon Defense Grid successfully engaged the hegemonic scouts," reported his tactical officer. "Enemy main fleet holding position, likely confused by our response." Park nodded with satisfaction. They expected farmers with pitchforks. Instead, they found wolves. He walked to the central platform where a 3-dimensional map showed Earth and dozens of seemingly innocent locations: underwater research stations, mining operations, asteroid scientific outposts. Each one now revealed its true purpose as hidden bay doors opened. From the depths of Earth's oceans, massive warships rose like ancient sea monsters breaking the surface after centuries of slumber. Vessels 3 times larger than anything humans had ever admitted to building emerged from underwater hangars, water cascading off advanced stealth hulls. On the Moon, what the Commonwealth believed to be simple helium-3 mining operations suddenly transformed as entire craters opened to reveal shipyards. In the asteroid belt, hollowed-out rocks that had been registered as scientific outposts split apart to release sleek destroyers and carriers. "The sleeping giant awakens," murmured Park, as he watched humanity's hidden armada take form on his display. Ships that had been built in secret over decades, using technology humans had developed but carefully kept hidden from their supposed superior allies. "Sir, all fleet commanders report ready status," his aide announced. "The Phoenix Squadron has already left for New Horizon. Captain Lee will be in position within the hour." Park smiled grimly. "And the Commonwealth? How are they reacting?" "Exactly as expected, sir. Across Commonwealth space, alarmed intelligence officers were filing urgent reports. Human representatives had begun disappearing from diplomatic posts, trade missions, and cultural exchanges. Not dramatically. They simply failed to appear for meetings or called in sick. Within 48 hours, nearly every human in Commonwealth space had quietly vanished. On the Azurite homeworld, Minister Zol paced his office nervously. "What do? You mean all the humans are gone?" he demanded of his security chief. "The embassy staff left overnight, sir. Their living quarters are empty. The human trade delegation cancelled their meetings. The university exchange students withdrew, citing family emergencies. Even the human maintenance workers at the spaceport didn't show up for their shifts. Why would they all leave at once?" Zol wondered aloud. His answer came when the communications system chimed with an emergency broadcast from Commonwealth Security. "Attention all Commonwealth worlds. We are tracking unusual activity in human space. Multiple unidentified vessels have been detected leaving Earth system. These ships do not match any known human designs and are significantly larger than registered human military vessels." Back at New Horizon, Commander Dae-sung's confusion had turned to alarm as his sensors detected multiple ships approaching at impossible speeds. "That can't be right," his sensor officer protested. "Humans don't have ships that can move that fast." "Magnify the lead vessel," Dae-sung ordered. The screen showed a sleek black warship, unlike anything in Commonwealth records. It bore the simple emblem of Earth alongside its name, Thunderchild. "Sir," the communications officer said, voice shaking, "we're receiving a transmission from the human vessel." The screen flickered to show a human woman in a black uniform, with silver trim, nothing like the simple grey uniforms humans typically wore in Commonwealth service. "This is Captain Hana Kim of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered protected human space and attacked a civilian colony. You have one opportunity: to withdraw your forces immediately." Dae-sung stared in disbelief. "Earth Defense Force? There is no such thing. The humans only have a small patrol fleet." "Sir," his tactical officer interrupted, voice rising in pitch, "I'm detecting energy readings from the human ships. Weapon systems far more advanced than anything in our database." As the hegemonic commander struggled to comprehend what was happening. Admiral Park watched from his command center as humanity's carefully constructed mask of inferiority finally fell away. "Send the message to all Commonwealth worlds," Park ordered. "It's time they learned who we really are." Commander Hee-jin Kim stood on the bridge of the Thunderbolt, her face calm despite the chaos unfolding on the tactical displays around her. Through the main viewport, the hegemonic invasion fleet hung against the stars, 50 warships that had come to destroy the human colony of New Horizon. Just hours ago, they had expected an easy victory against what they thought were defenseless settlers. They couldn't have been more wrong. "All weapon systems online," reported Weapons Officer G1. "Enemy vessels still trying to form a defensive formation." Hyojin nodded. "They're confused. Good. Let's keep them that way." For decades, humans had hidden their true capabilities from the galaxy. While pretending to struggle with basic warp technology, Earth's engineers had perfected quantum phase shields. While asking the Commonwealth for help with simple orbital platforms, human shipyards hidden beneath Earth's oceans had built vessels that could outmaneuver anything in known space. "Target their command ship," Hee-jin ordered. "Precision strike. Only. I want them to understand what they're facing." The Thunderbolt's main weapon, a graviton lance that no human had ever admitted existed, powered up silently. On the tactical display, targeting systems that the Commonwealth believed were centuries beyond human development locked onto the hegemonic flagship. Fire. A beam of concentrated energy, invisible except where it ionized the vacuum, struck the enemy command ship. It didn't explode in a dramatic fireball. Instead, the beam sliced through its shields as if they weren't there and surgically disabled its engines and weapon systems. "Broadcast on all frequencies," Hee-jin commanded. She straightened her uniform. The black and silver of Earth's true military, not the bland grey jumpsuits humans wore for Commonwealth Defense Forces, and faced the communication screen. "This is Commander Hyojin Kim of the Earth Fleet. Your command vessel has been disabled. We could have destroyed it, but chose not to. This demonstration should make our capabilities clear. You have 30 minutes to withdraw all forces from human space." On the crippled hegemonic flagship, Commander Dae-sung stared in disbelief at his dead control panels. Emergency lighting cast red shadows across his bridge as damage reports flooded in. "Impossible," he whispered. "They're just humans." His tactical officer looked up from a damaged console. "Sir, sensors show 27 human warships surrounding us. Their technology. It's like nothing we've ever seen." The Commonwealth told us they were primitives, Dae-sung protested. "Their ships were supposed to be outdated, their weapons ineffective." "Sir," his communications officer interrupted, "the Commonwealth Central Command is contacting us. They're ordering us to withdraw immediately." Across the hegemonic fleet, panic spread as captains realized they faced not the easy prey they'd expected, but predators who had been hiding in plain sight. As the Thunderbolt maintained position, 5 more human ships moved into formation around it. Each represented a class of vessel the Commonwealth had never seen: the heavy battleship Titan, the carrier Phoenix, the stealth frigate Whisper, the electronic warfare vessel Ghost, and the medical ship Mercy. "Status of the colony?" Hye-jin asked. "Minimal damage before our arrival," reported her first officer. "Their hidden defenses held until we got here. The settlers are already emerging from the underground shelters." Hye-jin allowed herself a small smile. For years, human colonists had lived dual lives: farmers and miners on the surface, trained fighters below ground, maintaining the facade of helplessness while preparing for the day when the mask would drop. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Galactic Commonwealth Council had convened an emergency session. Representatives from 30 species argued loudly as reports came in of human military vessels appearing throughout Commonwealth space. The Azurite High Chancellor pounded his ceremonial staff. "Order, we must have order." Into the chaos walked a single human, Jin Ho Beck. Previously known as a minor diplomatic assistant who fetched drinks and took notes, he now wore the formal black uniform of an Earth ambassador. The room fell silent as he approached the central podium. "The Commonwealth has failed in its primary duty," Jin-ho began, his voice carrying through the chamber, without the amplification other species required. "When human colonies were attacked, you offered condolences instead of assistance. When the hegemony threatened aggression, you appeased them." He placed a data crystal on the podium. "This contains Earth's formal withdrawal from all non-aggression pacts with Commonwealth worlds." "You can't do that," shouted the Kroll representative. The treaties weren't being honored anyway," Jin-ho interrupted, his tone flat. As evidenced by the attack on New Horizon, the Mu representative slithered forward. "You deceived us. Your technology, we protected ourselves," Jin-ho corrected. "As you would have done, as you all have done. The Commonwealth preaches cooperation while practicing exploitation." On the main display, footage appeared showing human warships neutralizing the hegemonic fleet at New Horizon. The Council watched in stunned silence as weapons they had never seen disabled enemy vessels with surgical precision. "For 50 years you called us monkeys," Jin-ho continued. "You relegated us to your least desirable jobs. You took our innovations and claimed them as your own. You demanded we share our resources while giving little in return." He paused, looking around the chamber. "We played along. We learned your weaknesses. We built our strength. And now we are done pretending." Back at New Horizon, the hegemonic fleet had begun a disorganized retreat. On the Thunderbolt's bridge, Hye-jin received a transmission from Earth Command. "Phase 1 complete," reported Admiral Park. "The Commonwealth is in disarray. Our diplomatic teams are presenting our terms." "And the hegemony?" she asked. "Their home fleet is mobilizing. They still believe they can match us." Hye-jin's expression hardened. "They'll learn otherwise." She turned to her navigation officer. "Set course for the hegemonic capital world. Maximum speed." The officer nodded, entering commands that sent the Thunderbolt into a form of FTL travel that human scientists had perfected decades ago but kept hidden from their advanced neighbors. As stars blurred around them, Hye-jin thought about all the years humans had endured condescension and discrimination, how they'd been treated as primitives barely worth acknowledging, how the Commonwealth had written off human lives as expendable. That era was over. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as the holographic display showed what remained of the once mighty hegemonic fleet. Burning hulls drifted through space, disabled by weapons that no one had believed humans capable of creating. The third battle of the Orion Belt had lasted just under 6 hours. Human warships had lost 3 vessels. The hegemony had lost 67. Chancellor Zorak of the Azurites shifted uncomfortably in his seat. Just 2 weeks ago, he had denied a human diplomat's request for a private meeting, telling his aide that he didn't have time for monkeys. Now that same diplomat was leading negotiations with the Trezor Confederation, one of the Commonwealth's most powerful trading partners. "We need to establish communication with Earth's government immediately," hissed Delegate Vrool of the Kroll Directorate to his assistant. "Offer them preferential trading status, whatever they want." "They're not responding to any communication." "Attempts," the assistant whispered back. "They've blocked all diplomatic channels except for the official council feed." Across the chamber, similar desperate conversations played out among representatives who had, until recently, viewed humans as little more than amusing primitives. The shock of discovering that the simple monkeys had been concealing advanced technology while patiently building their strength had thrown the entire galactic political system into chaos. The chamber lights dimmed and a hush fell over the assembly. The central platform illuminated, revealing not the expected diplomatic envoy, but Earth's Prime Minister Dae-Hyun Choi himself. Tall and imposing, in a simple black uniform without ostentation, he stood silently, waiting for complete attention. "Distinguished representatives," he began, his voice calm yet carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. "For 50 years, humanity has been part of this Commonwealth. For 50 years we have been dismissed, mocked and exploited." He paused, letting the words hang in the air. "For 50 years, we endured. We studied. We learned. Not just your technologies and your sciences, but your politics, your prejudices, your weaknesses." The massive display behind him changed to show images from Earth's history. Our world has a long memory of what happens when technologically superior forces encounter the unprepared. The Aztec Empire fell to a few hundred Spanish conquistadors. Native American nations were systematically destroyed by European diseases and weapons. African kingdoms with proud histories were carved up by colonial powers. Images changed to show ancient maps being redrawn, indigenous peoples subjugated by colonial forces. So when we discovered faster-than-light travel and prepared to join the galactic community, we faced a choice: reveal our true capabilities and risk becoming a target for more established powers, or present ourselves as less advanced than we truly were, buying time to assess the true nature of galactic politics. In the third row, the Mu representative sank lower in his hoverchair, remembering how he had once loudly proclaimed that humans would need at least a century to grasp basic quantum mechanics, a field that Earth scientists had apparently mastered before even leaving their solar system. "We chose patience," Dae-Hyun continued. "We posed no threat. We accepted your condescension. We took your menial jobs. We let you believe what you wanted to believe about us. Meanwhile, we built our strength in secret." The display shifted again, showing massive shipyards hidden beneath Earth's oceans, inside hollowed-out asteroids, and beneath the surfaces of seemingly unimportant moons. Some might call our strategy deceptive. We call it survival, a lesson from our own history. As Dae-Hyun spoke, side doors to the chamber opened. Lieutenant Subin Kwon entered, accompanied by a team of human security officers, escorting 3 alien officials in restraints: a Kroll admiral, an Azurite minister, and a hegemonic diplomat. The council erupted in protests. "This is outrageous. You have no authority to arrest Commonwealth officials. Release them immediately." Prime Minister Dae-Hyun remained silent until the shouting subsided. "These individuals are not under arrest by human authority," he said finally. "They are being presented to this council as evidence." Lieutenant Kwon stepped forward, activating her datapad. The main display changed to show a series of encrypted communications. 3 months ago, these officials received intelligence reports, confirming the hegemonic Dominion's plans to attack human colonies, Kwon stated clearly. "Not only did they fail to warn us, but they actively encouraged the aggression." She played a recording of the Kroll admiral speaking to hegemonic commanders. "The humans will pose no significant resistance. Their colonies have minimal defenses. Once you've secured their resource-rich worlds, we can negotiate favorable terms for access. The council chamber erupted again, this time with accusations flying between different factions. Species that had long been allied began pointing fingers at each other. Ancient rivalries surfaced as accusations of collusion with the hegemony spread. Daehyun waited patiently for the chaos to subside before speaking again. We do not seek revenge. We do not wish to destroy what the Commonwealth has built. But we will no longer accept second-class status. We will no longer pretend to be less than we are. He gestured, and the display showed a map of current fleet deployments. Human warships had positioned themselves at key strategic points throughout Commonwealth space. Not threatening, but impossible to ignore. As of today, Earth is withdrawing from 43 separate treaties that we consider exploitative or one-sided. We are establishing a security zone encompassing all human colonies. Any unauthorized military vessels entering this zone will be considered hostile. The Trezor representative stood. And if we refuse to recognize these changes, if the Commonwealth unites against this human aggression, Daehyun smiled slightly. We have waited 50 years learning your strengths and weaknesses. Do you truly believe we would reveal ourselves without being certain of the outcome? The implied threat hung in the air. No one spoke. Earth extends an offer of friendship to all species willing to engage with us as equals, Daehyun continued. Our diplomatic corps will remain available to those who wish to establish new agreements, based on mutual respect. As he finished speaking, the lights in the chamber flickered momentarily, a small but unmistakable demonstration that human technological capabilities extended beyond military applications. One final note, Daehyun added. Commander Kang of the hegemonic forces has been captured alive. He will be treated according to human laws of war, with dignity and medical care. We are not barbarians, despite what many of you have believed. With that, Earth's Prime Minister stepped down from the platform. No bow, no customary gestures of deference that humans had always performed before. He simply turned and walked out, leaving the council to confront a galaxy fundamentally changed. In the corridors outside, Lieutenant Kwon fell into step beside him. Their intelligence agencies will be working overtime to figure out what else. We've been hiding, she said quietly. Daehyun nodded. Let them try. After 50 years of underestimation, it'll take them at least that long to understand who we really are. The skies over Hegemonia Prime filled with ships, not just any ships. Human ships. 200 vessels of Earth's hidden Armada now surrounded the hegemonic homeworld, their sleek black hulls reflecting the red sunlight. From orbit, they looked like predators circling wounded prey. On the bridge of the flagship Thunderbolt, Admiral Taewoo Park watched the planet's defense grid power down section by section. The surrender had come 3 days after human forces had disabled the hegemonic fleet without destroying a single vessel, a demonstration of power more impressive than simple destruction. Final defense platform is offline, reported his tactical officer. Their planetary shield is deactivated, Park nodded. Begin landing procedures for the diplomatic team. In the capital city below, hegemonic leaders gathered in their grand assembly hall. The massive stone building had stood for 8 centuries, witnessing the rise of their empire from a single world to dozens. Generals with decorated uniforms sat uncomfortably beside government officials. Their crimson skin had paled to an anxious, pink supreme leader. Vex stood as the human delegation entered. Gone were the meek, grey-uniformed humans they had grown accustomed to dismissing. These humans walked with confidence, wearing the black and silver uniforms that had become, in just 3 weeks, the most feared sight in the galaxy. Supreme Leader, Admiral Park said with a small nod, not the deep bow humans had always used before. I trust you've reviewed our terms. Vex swallowed hard. They are extensive. They are fair, Park corrected. You attacked unprovoked. You targeted civilian colonies. You plan to strip our worlds of resources. Based on intelligence that said humans would be defenseless, protested General Krell, rising from his seat. The Commonwealth itself assured us, and that excuses genocide. Park's voice remained calm, but the temperature in the room seemed to drop. You didn't come to negotiate with those colonies. You came to conquer them. General Krell sat down, slowly. The terms stand, Park continued. Complete demilitarization of all hegemonic forces. Return of all territories taken from non-aggressive species in the past 50 years. Reparations to be paid to the families of those killed in your attacks. Supreme Leader Vex looked around the room at his advisors, seeing only defeat in their expressions. And if we refuse? Admiral Park didn't answer. He didn't need to. Everyone in the room had seen the footage of what human weapons could do, surgical strikes that disabled massive warships without destroying them, technology that bypassed shields thought impenetrable. We accept your terms, Vex said finally. Across the galaxy, the political landscape transformed almost overnight. Species that had once mocked humans as monkeys now found themselves diplomatically isolated. Trade agreements with Earth became the most sought-after prizes in the Commonwealth. Representatives who had ignored human diplomats now waited weeks for brief meetings. On the Galactic Council, the central platform, once dominated by the oldest Commonwealth species, had been redesigned. No longer a hierarchy with ancient races at the top, it now formed a perfect circle with Earth holding a position equal to the founding members. Captain Jumi Lee, formerly a seemingly insignificant diplomatic assistant, took her place as Earth's new ambassador. The council chamber fell silent as she approached the platform. Many representatives had personally snubbed her in the past, making her serve drinks or take notes during important meetings. The Earth Federation thanks the council for this opportunity to address recent events, she began, her voice steady. For too long, the galaxy has operated on principles of power rather than justice. Species with advanced technology have exploited those they deemed inferior. This era ends today. She activated the holographic display, showing the new Earth-led security alliance, the Terran Defense Accord. Already 12 former Commonwealth species had signed on, preferring Earth's protection to the empty promises of the old order. Earth extends an open invitation to all peaceful worlds to join this new alliance, Jumi continued. Unlike the Commonwealth, membership does not depend on technological advancement or military strength. All members receive equal protection and equal representation. The Azurite representative, once among the most dismissive of humans, leaned forward. And what guarantees do we have that humans won't simply replace the hegemony as conquerors? You've hidden your true capabilities for decades. Why should anyone trust you now? Jumi smiled slightly. A fair question from a species that referred to mine as barely evolved primates, less than a month ago. The Azurite sank back in his seat. But I will answer it, she continued. Judge us by our actions. We disabled rather than destroyed the hegemonic fleet. We offered fair terms rather than unconditional surrender. And today we offer something more. At her signal, the chamber doors opened. Dr. Hyunwoo Yoon entered, pushing a hovering platform containing several medical devices unknown to the Commonwealth. This is Dr. Yoon, head of Earth's Medical Technology Division, Jumi announced. For 50 years, we've developed medical technologies we chose not to share, just as we hid our military capabilities. Dr. Yoon stepped forward. This device can cure Trezor nerve degradation, he said, indicating a small silver instrument. This one eliminates crawl respiratory, fungus, and this, he pointed to a larger machine, can repair genetic damage from radiation exposure, something the Azurite colonies on Helios 9 have suffered from for generations. Murmurs spread through the chamber as representatives realized the implications. Humans hadn't just hidden weapons, they'd withheld cures for conditions that caused suffering throughout the galaxy. Why? Demanded the Mu representative. If you had these cures, why keep them secret while people suffered? Jumi answered calmly. For the same reason we hid our warships, because a galaxy that valued some lives over others, that ranked species, by their perceived worth, could not be trusted with such technology. Would you have shared these cures equally, or only with your closest allies? Would you have used them as leverage in negotiations? The silence that followed was answer enough. These medical technologies are being freely distributed to all worlds, beginning with those most in need, Jumi continued. Not as payment for alliance, not as leverage for future concessions, but because it's the right thing to do. She looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of representatives who had once looked through her as if she didn't exist. This is how Earth leads, not through fear or exploitation, but through justice and compassion. She paused. However, let me be absolutely clear. We will never again allow our worlds or our people to be threatened. The sleeping giant has awakened, and we will not return to slumber. As the council session ended, representatives crowded around Dr. Yoon, asking urgent questions about treatments for their people's ailments. Others approached Jumi, seeking private audiences to discuss joining the new alliance. Admiral Park watched from the observation deck above. "Do you think they understand yet?" asked his aide. "Some do," Park replied. "The smarter ones. They're realizing that we could have revealed ourselves at any time over the past 50 years. We chose now. We chose the circumstances. And the others?" Park smiled slightly. "They'll learn. The old order died the moment the first human warship revealed itself. There's no going back." Across the galaxy, Earth's hidden shipyards continued, producing vessels no longer in secret. Human colonies expanded, no longer pretending to struggle with basic terraforming. And in schools on 100 worlds, history lessons were being hastily rewritten to explain how the galaxy's monkeys had hidden in plain sight, patiently building their strength until the moment was right. The message was unmistakable to every species in the Commonwealth. Respect is earned, not demanded, and humanity had earned theirs.